네, 오늘은요 독일뿐이지만 최근에 영국의 Bath라고 하는 도시가 있어요. 런던 근처에 있는 곳인데 Bath, 로마 사람들이 이제 목욕탕을 많이 만들어놨다고 해서 Bath라고 불린대요. 여기로 유학을 간 리카 씨를 불러볼까요?
Okay, 리카 씨
나와주세요.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I love doing sports that have some risk. So something like snowboarding or jumping on the trampoline. And about 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time, I also did some skateboarding. And one of those days, I was skateboarding and I wasn't wearing any protection. My knees weren't protected, which is the most important thing. You always have to protect your knees. And sure enough, I injured myself pretty badly too. I went to the hospital and had an MRI taken, and they saw that I had splintered my shin bone. That means a piece of the bone had splintered. It had almost come off, but it was still on the bone. It was a splinter, and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks. Yeah, so that was not nice, and I learned my lesson. You should definitely wear protection when you do any sort of risky sport, especially skateboarding. I won't do that again.
네, 리카 씨 재미있는 이야기였고요. That was a fun story.
It was fun, and I didn't know that she skateboarded. It's cool to get to know that about her.
네, 이야기를 들으면서 이 이야기 해주시는 분들에 대해서 좀 더 조금씩 더 알게 되는 것 같습니다. We get to know them better and better. Yes. So let's get to know them more in the future. But for now, let's find out what she said.
Okay, so right off the bat, the first sentence might have a spot that's difficult to understand. So first, let's watch the clip.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
네, 어려운 단어 하나도 없지만 정말 빨랐습니다. 어떻게 말했죠?
She said, I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
그렇죠.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
근데 이 속도로 말한 것이 아니고 I don't know if I've까지가 한 단어처럼
I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
I don't know if I've
I don't know if I've mentioned it before.
I don't know if I've 여기까지만 보자면 I don't know if I've I don't know if I've
I don't know if I've I don't know five.
I don't know five처럼도 들리죠. 그 다음에 mentioned this before는 비교적 쉬웠죠. 그래서 전에 언급한 적이 있는지 모르겠는데요 라고 말을 하면서 이야기를 시작합니다. Okay.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I don't know if I've mentioned this before.
All right, so let's find out what she thinks she might have possibly mentioned before.
Okay.
But I love doing sports that have some risk. But I love doing sports that have some risk.
네, risk라는 것은 danger하고는 다르죠.
Danger, yeah, it's a little bit different from danger. It's not like immediate danger, but there are risks. Like maybe you'll be hurt, maybe something bad could happen. We don't know.
Yeah, there's a possibility.
Yeah.
그래서 이제 위험이 있을 수 있는 그 확률이 있는 것을 risk라고 하죠. 그래서 위험 요소가 있는 스포츠를 하는 것을 좋아한답니다. Moving on.
So something like snowboarding or jumping on the trampoline. So something like snowboarding or jumping on the trampoline.
그래서 예를 들고 있죠. snowboarding이나 jumping on the trampoline. 스노보딩을 하거나 트램폴린 위에서 뛰는 것과 같은 그런 위험 요소가 있는 것을 좋아한대요. I understand snowboarding can have some risks, but why jumping on the trampoline?
I don't know. To me, it didn't seem particularly risky, but if you spend time online on social media, you'll see there's so many people who get hurt on trampolines.
Yeah, like they don't get hurt on the trampoline. They get hurt because they go off the trampoline.
Off the trampoline, yeah. Or sometimes the trampolines break. I've seen those videos too. So I guess it is risky, compared to other things, but I wouldn't really classify it as risky. But
그렇죠.
to each his own. I think everyone has a different view.
네, 그래서 트램폴린은 일반적으로는 안전하게 생각이 되지만 여기서는 예로 들고 있죠. Have some risk 한 스포츠로요. 다음 문장.
And about 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time. And about 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time.
그리고 10년쯤 전에, so it's been quite a long time. 그러니까 꽤 오래됐죠 라고 이야기를 했어요. So what did she do 10 years ago?
I also did some skateboarding. I also did some skateboarding.
그리고 10년 전에 스케이트보드도 좀 탔었대요. 스케이트보드를 좀 탔다. Some skateboarding.
Yeah, some skateboarding. So she wasn't like an expert and she didn't do it every day, but you know, she did a little bit of
Yeah,
skateboarding.
maybe she wasn't a beginner either.
Oh, that's true.
네.
Definitely it means you weren't a beginner, but you're not an expert.
네,
Yeah.
그냥 취미로 as a hobby.
Just a hobbyist.
Okay, and then?
And one of those days I was skateboarding and I wasn't wearing any protection. And one of those days I was skateboarding and I wasn't wearing any protection.
그러던 어느 날 스케이트보드를 타고 있었는데 and I wasn't wearing any protection. 일단 protection 하면 보호예요, 보호. The act of protecting something.
Right.
Right? 그런데 wearing protection, like how can you wear something abstract?
Well, you know, in this case, when we say wearing protection, we mean you're wearing things that protect you. So in this case, you know, knee pads, elbow pads, and a helmet.
맞아요.
Yeah.
그냥 보호를 입고 있었다라고 번역을 하면 좀 부자연스럽고
Yeah.
보호 장비인 거죠. Protective gear.
The gear,
Yeah.
right. The things that you use and wear to protect yourself.
네, protection, 보호라고 그냥 번역하고 넘어가지 마시고 보호를 입고 있었다? 뭘까? protective gear구나. 보호 장비를 말하는 거죠. 이걸 안 하고 있었대요. So what happened?
My knees weren't protected, which is the most important thing.
그렇죠.
My knees weren't protected, which is the most important thing.
스케이트보드를 탈 때 이제 그 무릎 보호를 안 했대요.
Yeah.
My knees weren't protected. 무릎 보호가 안 되었는데 which is the most important thing. 여기서 말하는 which is라는 것은 not the knees but protecting
Your knees.
네.
Right. Well, your knees are important for walking and
네.
things like that. But in this case, she means out of every place you should protect, your knees are the most important.
네. 그리고 만약에 정말 무릎이 중요하다라고 이야기하는 거였다면 which is가 아니겠죠. Which
Right.
are
Which are the most important things.
things가 되겠죠.
Right.
그렇지만 갑자기 단수로 만들고 뒤에 붙였기 때문에 무릎 자체가 중요한 게 아니고 무릎 보호가 중요한 거란 이야기입니다. So what happened?
You always have to protect your knees. You always have to protect your knees.
항상 무릎을 보호해야 해요.
Yeah.
물론 always라고 했지만 she's not talking about always.
Right. She just means while you are skateboarding.
그렇죠.
Or doing any other sport. But in this case, she's saying for skateboarding, your knee protection is most important.
Yeah, always.
Always.
항상.
Always.
그래서 정말 스케이트보드를 안 타는 것까지도 말하는 건 아니고 항상 스케이트보드 탈 때 when you are skateboarding, you always have to protect your knees with protective gear.
Right. Funny enough, she wasn't doing that.
그렇죠. 중요하다는 걸 알고 있으면서도
Yeah.
I think that's because she did some skateboarding.
Right.
Like she was somewhat good.
Good. Yeah, once you start getting good at something, you become more reckless.
맞아요.
Right?
네.
You stop taking less, you know, protectionary precautions.
그렇죠. 좀 실력이 늘게 되면은 그 조심도 덜 하게 되고 그리고
Yep.
워밍업도 덜 하게 되잖아요.
Yep.
I injured myself quite a lot because of breakdancing and gymnastics. 굉장히 저도 많이 이제 브레이크댄스를 하면서 다쳤었는데 95%의 부상은 95% of all the injuries happened during the first 5 minutes. 5분 안에 다쳐요.
Because you weren't warmed up
I
yet.
wasn't warmed up.
Right.
I thought I had gotten better, so I wasn't taking precautions. 마찬가지인 것 같아요. 그래서 이걸 안 했고. So what happened?
And sure enough, I injured myself pretty badly too. And sure enough, I injured myself pretty badly too.
네, 이 부분에서 지금 짧은 두 문장으로 된 이 부분에서 번역하는데 굉장히 재미있는 곳이 두 개가 나옵니다. 첫 번째, sure enough 하면 아니나 다를까라는 말이고요. 아니나 다를까 이렇게 하더니 아니나 다를까 sure enough 이렇게 영어로 번역하고 I injured myself 부상을 입었어요. Pretty badly too. to라는 것도 이제 게다가 꽤 심하게 다쳤다. 뭐 잘 탄다고 약간 방심을 한 거죠. She got complacent maybe.
She got too complacent
Yeah.
and then went, and sure enough, she injured herself because she wasn't protecting herself. And also, sure enough, sometimes another way that we use to say that is we'll say, and surprise, surprise, I injured myself, when you're being like sarcastic.
물론이죠. 네. Surprise, surprise 하면은 여러분 놀라셨죠? 짜잔! 다쳤답니다. 이렇게 아니나 다를까 다쳤다 이런 뜻이고요. And then
I went to the hospital and had an MRI taken. I went to the hospital and had an MRI taken.
네. 병원에 가서 had an MRI taken. 저희가 이제 병원에 간다라는 거에 대해서 go to the hospital, go see a doctor, 의사를 만난다 많이 구분했지만 MRI까지 나오게 되면
Right.
definitely go into the hospital.
Going to the hospital, right. You wouldn't go to the doctor's office for an MRI, so definitely the hospital.
네, 그래서 병원에 가서 MRI를 찍었대요. Okay, so it's similar to I had a photo taken.
Oh, yeah.
네.
Pretty similar to that.
포토라는 위치에 그냥 MRI 넣은 문장이죠. Alright, moving on.
So the next one, first we should take a look at the clip, so let's watch.
And they saw that I had splintered my shin bone. And they saw that I had splintered my shin bone.
여기에서는요, 정말 아파요, 들으면.
Yeah, it sounds so painful. It hurts just listening to it.
네, 그런데 이해를 잘 못했을 경우에 한 가지 이유는 shin bone, 이 부분 단어가 생소했기 때문일 수 있어요. 어떻게 말했죠?
Shin bone.
네, what
Shin
did she
bone.
say?
And she said, and they saw that I had splintered my shin bone.
네, 이거 shin이 여기 정강이를 말하는데 이 단어가 생소한 경우에 어떻게 들리냐면 machine bone.
Aha, my shin bone, machine bone.
machine
Oh,
bone.
yeah.
machine bone. 하지만 machine, she's not talking about any machine.
Not any machine, but her shin bone, this
Shin.
bone right in the front of your leg.
네, 여기 정강이 아프겠죠. 그래서 사실 무릎이 아니고 정강이네요.
Right?
그래서 MRI를 찍어봤더니 and they saw. Who saw?
The doctors or nurses.
Yeah, they saw. They found that I had splintered. 깨졌다. 깨졌다. 그래서 my shin bone. 그 정강이 뼈가 깨졌더라고요. 라고 이야기를 해줬습니다. Let's listen to this part 2 more times.
And they saw that I had splintered my shin bone. And they saw that I had splintered my shin bone.
So let's find out what that means exactly in her case. That means a piece of the bone had splintered. That means a piece of the bone had splintered.
뼈의 일부가 깨진 거죠. So maybe she fell and landed like on the shin bone. 그래서 뼈의 일부가 깨졌다는 건데요. 스플린터 지금 두 번째 나왔는데 이렇게 뼈가 금이 가거나 살짝 이렇게 깨졌을
Right.
때
So a little thin piece of it came off.
네.
So, you know, splinters, sometimes if you're at the park and maybe if everything is made out of wood, you might rub your hand and then you'll get a piece of wood in your hand. We call it a splinter, a little piece of something.
그렇죠. 나무 이렇게 가시가 박혔을 때 그것도 스플린터라고 하는데 얇게 깎인 것처럼 된 거예요. 또 여기 팔꿈치 근처도 될 수도 있겠고 이것을 스플린터라고 표현을 하고 있습니다. 뼈의 일부가 깨진 거예요. And what happened?
It had almost come off, but it was still on the bone. It had almost come off, but it was still on the bone.
네, 우리가 이번 주에 다친 이야기 하면서 가장
Yeah.
약간 들었을 때 아이고 할 수 있는 고통이 느껴지는 문장이었습니다. It had almost come off. come off는 come off.
Yeah, come off.
come out 하고 좀 다르죠. 떨어져
Right.
나오는 거니까.
Right. I mean, if it could have almost come out if it was sticking out of the skin.
That's right. 네.
But come out, come
네.
off, meaning that it just almost broke off from the bone, but it didn't. So it's still connected.
네, 여전히 still on the bone, 뼈에 붙어 있었습니다. So, which means
It was a splinter, and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks. It was a splinter, and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks.
네, 금이 간 거였고 and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks. 여기에서 오늘의 핵심 문장이 보이죠? On crutches 해야 했습니다. For 8 weeks, 8주 동안 목발을 해야 했어요. And then, what kind of experience was it?
Yeah, so that was not nice, and I learned my lesson. Yeah, so that was not nice, and I learned my lesson.
별로 좋은 또는 신나는 경험은 아니었다고 하면서
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. 수업을 들은 것이 아니죠? She did not take a class.
No, she
네.
didn't, but she means that she learned from her mistake, and probably from then on, if she skateboards, she definitely will be wearing protection.
네, 교훈이라고 할 때도 lesson이라고 영어로 표현합니다. She learned her lesson. That experience, that injury made her wiser. 더 현명하게 만들어준 거죠. Let's move on.
You should definitely wear protection. You should definitely wear protection.
다시 한번 나오고 있습니다. Wear protection.
Protection.
protection은 보호 장비예요. 추상적인 명사로 보호가 아니고요. 반드시 you should definitely wear protection.
When you do any sort of risky sport, especially skateboarding. When you do any sort of risky sport, especially skateboarding.
위험할 수 있는 risky sport, 위험할 수 있는 스포츠, 특히 especially skateboarding, 스케이트보드 같은 걸 할 때는 보호 장비를 반드시 해야 합니다라고 했죠. And then what is her last sentence?
I won't do that again. I won't do that again.
이거는 무슨 뜻이죠? What won't she do again?
Well, she will not ever ride the skateboard without using protection. Yes.
보호 장비 없이 스케이트보드 타는 것을 안 하겠다라는 말이죠. All right, we'll see.
Okay. All right. So since we've gone over all the sentences, now we're going to take a look at her story 2 more times. The first time with English subtitles and the second time without. So let's watch.
I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I love doing sports that have some risk. So something like snowboarding or jumping on the trampoline. And about 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time, I also did some skateboarding. And one of those days, I was skateboarding and I wasn't wearing any protection. My knees weren't protected, which is the most important thing. You always have to protect your knees. And sure enough, I injured myself pretty badly too. I went to the hospital and had an MRI taken. And they saw that I had splintered my shin bone. That means a piece of the bone had splintered. It had almost come off, but it was still on the bone. It was a splinter, and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks. Yeah, so that was not nice, and I learned my lesson. You should definitely wear protection when you do any sort of risky sport, especially skateboarding. I won't do that again. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I love doing sports that have some risk. So something like snowboarding or jumping on the trampoline. And about 10 years ago, so it's been quite a long time, I also did some skateboarding. And one of those days, I was skateboarding and I wasn't wearing any protection. My knees weren't protected, which is the most important thing. You always have to protect your knees. And sure enough, I injured myself pretty badly too. I went to the hospital and had an MRI taken, and they saw that I had splintered my shin bone. That means a piece of the bone had splintered. It had almost come off, but it was still on the bone. It was a splinter, and I had to be on crutches for 8 weeks. Yeah, so that was not nice, and I learned my lesson. You should definitely wear protection when you do any sort of risky sport, especially skateboarding. I won't do that again.
Okay. Thank you for your words of wisdom. I will never skateboard now.
아예 그냥 스케이트보드를 안
Even
타는
with
거예요?
protection, nope.
제가 빌려드릴게요.
Nope.
No? Okay.
I'll pass.
보호 장비도 빌려드릴게요.
Nope,
No?
I'll pass.
All right. You can pass.
You skateboard? Do you have a skateboard?
I actually do.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe one day you can reconsider it. And then now it's time to look at some interesting English words.
Okay, it's time for Street
Smart.